welcome back to my channel. Today I want to veer away from talking about writing and actually talk about something that we writers also love, and that is reading. A viewer left a comment on one of my videos asking if I could do a video on how to read more. Now, some people might think that this video is unnecessary. You want to read more, just sit down and read. But for some people, this advice is not that simple, especially for those of us who have full-time jobs, families, school, and other priorities in life to worry about. For some people, their days are so busy and filled to the brim with stuff that it actually can be really difficult to sit down, unwind, and read a book. Not to mention, we have so many things that can distract us nowadays. Pretty much everything we can read is in a digital format. So even if you open up your Kindle app and start reading a book, you can be easily distracted by the number of emails and notifications that are hovering at the top of your phone. So how do we ignore the never-ending stream of distractions that seem to constantly be right in front of our faces? Try these 7 tips to help you read more books more often. Number 1, start a morning and/or evening ritual. Tell me if this is what most of your mornings look like. You wake up 5 to 10 minutes after you've already pressed snooze once on your phone. You rush to get ready, make yourself a quick cup of coffee, and then rush out the door to get to work or school. And tell me if this is what most of your evenings look like. You're sitting on the couch, binge watching Netflix, when you realize suddenly that it's 9 p.m. You haven't eaten dinner, and all you've done that evening is sit in front of the television. As much as I hate to admit it, this is what a lot of my mornings and evenings used to look like. Rush to work, burn myself out at work, come home and relax for hours until it's time to go to bed. Sound familiar? So I've actually been working really hard at creating morning and evening rituals to avoid these traps of excessive nothingness. Now in the mornings, I set my alarm for 30 minutes earlier so that I can get outside and go for a run and enjoy the great outdoors before the Texas humidity creeps in and kills me. And at night, I have an alarm set on my phone for 9 p.m. Once that alarm goes off, I completely stop what I'm doing, throw my pajamas on, brew a cup of tea, and curl up in bed with a good book. I block out time every weeknight from 9 to 9:30 to read. And you know what? When you make something a ritual, it becomes a habit, and it becomes something that you look forward to doing each day. Are there still days where I come home from work and just want to sit down and binge watch Netflix? Sure. And sometimes I do. It's all about balance though. I would recommend making your ritual either at the very start of your day or at the very end. Why not in the middle? Because you'll get distracted. You'll sit down to read and be unable to focus on what you're reading because you'll be thinking of the 18 other things that you could be doing instead of reading. It's not raining. I should walk the dogs. The house is dirty. I should clean it. I'm running out of clean clothes. I should do laundry. The dishes are piling up in the sink. I should run the dishwasher. You can tell the things I get distracted by have to do with chores and cleaning. Hello, type A. But if you make your reading ritual in the morning, you can carve out some me time and get your reading done before things start piling up to distract you. Or you can do it at night once you've done everything as a way to relax and unwind. Try reading just 20 pages each morning or each night, and I guarantee you'll be really surprised at how much more reading you can fit into your day. Even if you can only devote 15 to 30 minutes of reading each morning or night, you can read 20 to 30 books per year. Not bad, huh? Number 2, speed read. Okay, there is a common misconception when it comes to speed reading. This is not a magical technique that allows you to blur through pages and scan words where you hardly understand anything you just read. It's simply a technique to speed up the actual pace of your reading so that you can read more in less time with the same understanding as if you've read at your normal pace. A couple of tips if you want to try speed reading is to use a pointer. Try running your index finger beneath the text on the page. This keeps your eyes focused on a specific point on the page, and it keeps your mind from getting distracted. After a week or 2 of adapting to using your index finger, your reading rate will be boosted considerably. You can also try practice reading. This means reading slightly faster than you can actually comprehend. Try doing this with news articles and other types of text where you don't need to glean every single detail. This will train you to read without needing to sub-vocalize, which means repeating the words in your head, and eventually you'll be able to do this with books and read at a faster pace. Number 3, one book at a time. Okay, I am guilty of not reading one book at a time. I normally have at least 2 that I'm currently reading. Now, some people think that trying to multitask between books can be a waste of time. I would say not to read 2 books at once if they are in similar genres, such as 2 fantasy books or 2 science fiction books. You may end up confusing the worlds and characters, and overall, this will just backtrack your reading progress even further. But when I'm reading 2 books at once, I tend to read a self-help or motivational type book, as well as a sci-fi, fantasy, or contemporary book. This works for me because there is absolutely no way that I could get these 2 books confused because they are completely different. One of them is telling me how I can live my best life and offering advice, and the other is a story I can fall into where I'm transported to a different world. See the difference? So unless the 2 books are in completely different genres, stick to one book, read it all the way through, finish it, and then pick up the next book. Number 4, carry a book with you at all times. I carry a physical book with me always. It sits in my car while I'm up in my office working. On my lunch break, sometimes I will grab a meal, go to Starbucks, and sit outside and read, weather permitting, of course. There may be times throughout your day where you're forced to wait, such as a doctor's appointment, a line of some sort, at the pharmacy, during a break, or traveling. Having a book with you means that those moments aren't wasted checking social media for the umpteenth time. Number 5, utilize audiobooks. I love audiobooks. If you've ever been to Texas or lived in Texas, then you know it is a giant state with giant cities. I live in Houston, but not really. I actually live an hour and a half northwest of Houston, and it takes me 45 minutes to get to work, which means it takes me 45 minutes to drive to work every morning and 45 minutes to drive home. That's 90 minutes or an hour and a half of precious time that I could be using to read. And while it is definitely not a good idea to read a physical book while simultaneously driving, there is a way to get your reading in by listening to audiobooks. I normally listen to TED Talks during my morning commutes just to kind of get my brain going, kind of wake me up for the day. But if you are in the car a lot, then I would recommend trying an audiobook. Most popular books have audio formats, and while they can be expensive, you can actually rent them from your local library for free. Don't forget about the library, folks. It's a great resource, especially if you're strapped for cash. Number 6, have another book ready before you finish the one you're reading. Having a TBR or to be read list of books is actually a great motivation for getting you to read more. Many times when we finish one book and don't have one lined up to read next, we can sort of forget to read because maybe going out and searching for another book that you'll enjoy reading seems like a chore. By having a TBR list, you'll know exactly what you're going to read next and avoid the hassle of finding a book as great as the last one. Number 7, if you aren't enjoying a book, stop reading it immediately. This is a hard one for me. When I buy a book and start reading and invest some of my time in it, even if I'm not enjoying it, I find it really hard to stop reading. It's so hard for me to put it back on my bookshelf knowing that I'll probably never pick it up again. Why? Plain and simple, I like to finish what I start. But I've come to realize that if I'm not enjoying reading a certain book, then 20 more pages probably isn't going to make me like it anymore. And if I do finish reading it, it'll more likely than not feel like a waste of time. And I'll wonder why I didn't just put it down and start reading something that I actually would have enjoyed in the first place. I know it can be hard, but if you're not enjoying the book that you're currently reading, then what's the point? You don't owe it to anyone to read that book. So tuck it back in your bookshelf or donate it to a local library and move on. So there you have it, 7 tips to help you read more. What it really comes down to is using your time well. So many of us mismanage our time and spend so much energy on social media or watching TV, which are things that, when you truly think about it, don't add any value to our lives. They are time wasters, ways to relax and do something mindless after a long day. And that's okay some of the time, because there will be days where we felt like we've done so much that all we want to do is something that requires nothing. But don't make these do-nothing activities a large part of your daily schedule. Manage your time well so that you can do things that add value to your life, like reading. If you write down everything you truly do in a day, I think you'll find a lot of blank spaces that could be filled in with reading, such as a commute, Hello, audiobooks. Or 2 or 3 hours where you seem to fall into a black hole of Netflix and nothingness. I hope you enjoyed the content today. If you did, please thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. This weekend, I have my very first author event at Katie Budget Books in the greater Houston area. The event will be on Saturday, June 25th from 2 to 4 p.m. So if you are in the area and feel like stopping by, that'd be awesome because I would love to meet you. I will also be attending LeviosaCon in Las Vegas from July 8th to July 9th. I will have a table where I will be selling and signing copies of the Alpha Drive, so if you will be in the area, I would also love to meet you. I plan on filming both of these events, so stay tuned for that footage in future vlogs. My debut novel, The Alpha Drive, is still available for purchase in paperback, ebook, and hardcover on Amazon. The sequel, The Order of Omega, is available for pre-order right now on Amazon and will be released on Tuesday, November 8th, 2016. All the links are listed below. If you have any questions or anything you'd like for me to talk about in one of my next videos, feel free to leave a comment down below, or you can tweet at me at author Kristen M. You can also leave a comment or ask a question anonymously on my Ask Me Anything page on Tumblr. Again, all the links are down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to win bookish goodies every month. I post new videos on Tuesdays. I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Oh, you want to be on camera? This is my Harls. Bye, Harls.
No one can see you. Hi. Whoa, I miss you too.
That's a very bright light and you're shedding everywhere.
Okay, bye.